All right. Shout out where you're from. Hey, Anan. I don't know how to say your name. Hello. Where are you from? Toronto, Canada? Good to see y'all. Hello, hello. Everybody's here. Spokane, Washington. Living in Colorado. Are you a dating expert? Dating and relationships. Dating and relationships. I do a little marriage too. I talk to people about their marriages. So, hello everybody, Africa, South Africa. Okay. Miami, DC. It's a lot of DC people on here today. New York in the house. Okay. I'm currently in Virginia, so I'm not too far from DC, but I'm originally from New York. So if you hear an accent sometimes it's because I originally came from Queens, New York, but I love to see people all around the world. I love to travel. So please definitely let me know some good spot. But I travel for food. I love food. Okay? If you don't love food, then what are you? You gotta love it. You know, I'm a big back. Well, I don't have a big. Let me stop. That was. I don't have a big back. But I love to eat. I love to eat. So let's go ahead and get some questions ready. As you know, I'm Xavier, your favorite relationship coach, and I'm here to make sure that everybody gets into relationships that work best. Because today's dating series is quite interesting, right? We're trying to figure out how to navigate these toxic and narcissistic and manipulative relationships and what's the best case scenario. As you know, if you want to work with me further, you can click the link in the bio or you can send me a DM and let me know if you're interested. But I do help a lot of people go from toxic relationships into fulfilling long-term happy relationships. So I help them with that all the time. I'm responsible for many marriages and many new relationships. So let's go ahead and get started. Appreciate your input and everything. You helped me get out of a 22-year narc marriage. Thank you. Absolutely. Boyfriend versus toy boy? I don't know what that means. I'm from India. I was blocked by my ex 5 months back, removed from everywhere. Now he unblocked me out of nowhere, but isn't reaching out or saying sorry. Should I just block him? That's up to you. I mean, I don't know why he blocked you. I don't know what your relationship was like before the block, but if someone blocks you, I would say don't take it lightly. You know, whether it was you, whether it was him, whether it's both of you, whether you're just going through something, I don't know. But being blocked is, to me, on the verge of an extreme, so I would take that seriously and definitely note it for whatever move you decide to make after. Can narcissistic people love own children? Yes, they can. It happens all the time. See, here's the thing. People who are narcissistic are not incapable of love, right? A lot of them still love. A lot of them still get through it, and a lot of them still figure out how to get better, right? So just because you might be a narcissist, especially if you're diagnosed, doesn't mean it's the end of the road for you. It just means that there's a little bit more you have to compensate with. You have to put in a little bit more effort in regards to certain things, but it's still possible, yes. But the question is, how do we navigate it, right? That's why I built a course for that. How do we detach ourselves from someone? So here's the thing. There's a difference between healthy love and just attachment. If you feel like you're attached to someone, then you might want to consider what's going on in your own life that is missing for you to still be attached to a person that's no longer serving you, right? If a person is no longer providing a certain amount of value, then why is it that you're still attached to them? Because if you say something like, well, it's the memory of them just keeps me. So something in the past is still aligned today in your mind, but not in reality. So are you living in your mind more than reality? Then we need to challenge it. What is not going on in your reality that you feel like you need to still attach yourself to your mind, right? Because that was a moment in time. It goes past. Are you deserving of more moments? Is your life alone without someone else worth living? And is it worth being present and conscious? See, sometimes we have to challenge ourselves to be more present and be more conscious and find things about our conscious and present life that are wonderful enough that the attachment of a memory cannot supersede it, right? We want to make sure that we can stay here. That's how you work towards, mitigating a little bit of depression. That's how you work towards mitigating loneliness, anxiety, being grounded and present. Hopefully that helps. What if there is love but no attraction? Well, then it's just like loving a brother or sister, right? I mean, that's what it sounds like. California, let's go. He dumped me, then a week later, begged for me back, then a week later, dumped me again. This happened 4 times, the last one being 2 days ago. I feel so foolish and broken. Well, you're not foolish and broken. You're experiencing emotional whiplash, right? 1 minute you're on, 1 minute you're off. There are people who operate in this state. And to me, that sounds like a person that's not ready for a long-term relationship, because breaking up is not even the last thing you should consider. When a person is serious about a relationship, breaking up is pretty much not even an option, unless, of course, with the exception of some extremes. So this person is showing you instability, inconsistency, and lack of consideration. That is all you need to know that this person is not for you, right? But if you keep putting yourself through this, if you keep signing up for it and you keep getting hurt by it, there's a chance that you will have long-term damage. You may in the future doubt the idea that you can be loved again because you're allowing this person to have too many opportunities with you. Ladies, I'm going to tell you something, and I'm going to be straightforward with you because I love you. You got to stop giving broken, unstable men multiple opportunities to disappoint you. You got to stop giving it to them. Even no matter how much you love them, no matter how much you think you have feelings for them, no matter how much you say, okay, well, this will be the moment, this is the change, and I care about them. It's okay. It's okay to have an emotion, and it's okay to care. But you got to know when to cut it off, because you have to save yourself from the emotional turmoil that you're going to have to recover from if it doesn't work out. You got to have emotional insurance. You got to have an insurance policy, right? I can't jump off this roof because I'm going to have to go into my insurance account. I can run with you. I can lift weights. I can do things like that, but I can't be too crazy because then I have to tap into the insurance if this doesn't work out for me. Make calculated risk. It's okay to like someone, but you got to be calculated with how much you're risking your heart. Because if you keep risking it over and over and over on the same person that keeps showing you that they suck, then it's going to have long-term effects on you when either you break up or you try. You got to save some room. Here's what I would say. You got to save some room in your heart for the next man that's going to appreciate you. Hopefully you hear that. You got to save some room in your heart for the next man that will appreciate you. You don't want to have to string it out with this guy too long and give him too many chances. After a certain amount of chances, you got to say, you know what? I got to make it so that my heart doesn't get too messed up for the next guy who's going to love me correctly, because my husband would never. My future husband would never. My future husband doesn't deserve half of me or less than half of me because my spirit is broken because I gave you too many chances. You're messing it up for the next guy. 1 or 2 hurts, you got to start calculating, oh no, you're starting to do too much. You're starting to show me that you're messing up. I got to keep my heart secure. I got to protect my heart. Protect your heart like it's an infant child. I don't have time to keep letting too many mistakes happen, because then I got to recover, and that's a whole 6 months to a year to 2 years of me not finding my man. Like, I can't afford that type of time. Think of it this way. Your heart is precious. Your heart is precious. Your emotions are precious, and they should be treated as such. And you shouldn't just let anyone in, because there's a lot of people out here that don't value people, that don't value their emotions because they don't value themselves. And if someone doesn't value themselves, it's not fair that your emotions have to be risked for a person that isn't doing the work on himself. If he's not doing the work on himself and he messes up your heart, how is that fair to you? Why should you have to suffer because this man isn't doing his part? If he's acting broken, if he's being unstable, if he's cheating and lying and not being accountable, how is that fair to you? Why should you have to keep risking your emotions every time because this guy doesn't want to be honest? He's not worthy. He's not worthy. Anyway, I know I went on a rant, but hopefully that hit some spirits in here. Yeah, we got to have emotional insurance. I hope you guys remember that from today. Emotional insurance policy, okay? Even though I like you a lot because I've done this with some women I've dated too. I was like, man, I really like this girl, but she's all over the place. She's not ready. And I don't look at her as a villain. That's another thing. I don't villainize people unless they do something extreme, right? I just say to myself, you're not ready. If you're not ready, you're not ready, right? So if you're all over the place, if you say you're consistent and then you're showing me opposite, if you say that you're honest and then you're lying to me, I'm just like, you're not ready. You got some stuff you need to work on in your spirit, and I can't afford to risk heartbreak. I'm seeing heartbreak come along. I look at that in the very beginning, I'm looking at how much you're aligning to see if heartbreak is on the radar for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, is heartbreak, it's looking a little bit like it might happen because you're breaking. Right now, my heart isn't that invested and I'm already nervous. You're already making me feel a little nervous. I got to be protective, right? My insurance, I'm not trying to make my premiums go up, okay? It's like getting in the car with somebody that can't drive. Like I'm not going to risk with you because you're about to crash me, baby. I need a safe driver, all right? But see, here's the thing is that some of us associate instability with excitement, right? If you've been used to chaos a lot in your life, sometimes you might confuse instability, lying, with excitement. And then now you have to rearrange your nervous system to see that as danger. But once you do, you're good, Why do narcissist men attract people? Seems they're better as a friend than a boyfriend. That's actually a good point. So here's the thing. They attract people because they lie. Right? They lie and they put on a personality that is not real. And then they go a little bit, sometimes they tend to go a little bit more harder than regular people, right? They put themselves out there. They really try hard. They really, are in your face. So if you're a person that's looking for that kind of effort and energy, then yeah, they might be available to you. And then it's just what happens, So the problem is once people get their hearts caught up, they can't tell sometimes. And this is where discernment comes in, right? A lot of people don't understand discernment. How can you tell if the person is really who they say they are or not? Because there's narcissistic people running around all the time. There's manipulative people everywhere. There's broken people everywhere. We're not going to be able to stop people from being broken. That's just going to be the nature of the beast for probably the rest of eternity. But what we can do right now is say, how can we make it so that we know the difference and what to do and what to say to clock it? Because that's what we don't know. A lot of us came from narcissistic families. We came from parents and generational traumas and people that hurt us as kids, the people that, broke our boundaries and manipulated us and, gaslit us. We have parents and grandparents that have done that. So we grow up thinking that this is normal. We don't know how to navigate that. And it's not like they have a narcissism 101 class somewhere. Actually, I do. It's in the link in my bio. But the point is, we haven't really been taught this stuff. So once we get that, then maybe we have a better shot because those people need to be put in their place. But a lot of people don't know. A lot of people don't know better. And for the ones that do, sometimes they need to learn themselves a little bit. How do we rearrange our nervous system? Well, that comes with practice, right? We have to figure out what your idea of good looks like. So that is individual practice, but luckily I have a community where we work on that, right? I send out tasks and we do this all the time. We challenge the nervous system. We start building from small to big again because a lot of us have interrupted nervous systems, right? We have nervous systems that have been rearranged in a way that we can't even feel good about good things anymore. Good doesn't even feel good anymore because our nervous systems are so messed up. So we have to go back and we got to fix it. We have to fix it for the rest of our lives, for our sanity, for our peace, for our relationships, for our children. We must fix our nervous systems or we're going to carry some generational trauma, right? But like I said, if you want to learn that, click the link in my bio. I feel like most men are narcissistic now because it's so-called glorified by social media. Like, okay, princess, who gave you the permission to act like this? So here's what I think. I don't know that to be true, right? I don't. I looked up statistics on who's actually diagnosed, and I think it was like 4 million, which is still quite a bit, right? But there could be more that are undiagnosed. But here's what I would say. I think a lot of people are broken. I think people on both sides. I know that I talk about guys a lot, and I still stand by that. You know, there's a lot of things that guys have messed up in this society, but I do think that it's both sides. I think hurt people hurt people. I think that people are trying to dress themselves up as, you know, an empath or, you know, someone who's kind-hearted who's really not. Someone's trying to act like they're loving when they're really not. A lot of people are dressing themselves up to be something that's not true. A lot of people are broken, manipulative, and don't really understand what's going on, right? They're aware, but they don't quite understand it. So I would say, and here's the thing, social media sometimes is not a real place. I will also say that. Don't listen 100% to what's going on social media. A lot of the stuff on social media is not true. If you look up a lot of the information that they tell you, oh, well, guys, 90% this and 80% this and 75% this. When you actually take a minute to Google it or chat GPT it and look it up for yourself, you'll find out a lot of this stuff isn't true. There is truth to a lot of it, but a lot of it is also not true. Don't let social media brainwash you, because a lot of stuff on here, man, they just like to make up stories to get us riled up sometimes, you know? I married a man that was very good. He knew. Feel dumb because the behavior was consistent, talk daily, see multiple times a week, and still got blindsided. I must have read it wrong. Possibly, you know, because that could happen too. Just because a person's consistent doesn't mean that the signs aren't there. There are different ways to manipulate you, right? I would say one of the more obvious ones is that a person is distant from you, because that means clearly, you know, they're not trying to be around you. But that's a crazy one when they're actually like consistent with you and they still manipulate you. That very much can still happen. It doesn't matter if they're consistent or not. What matters is, you know, you have to look at that. Yes, I don't know your story in particular. You might have been blindsided because maybe he was the perfect liar, but maybe there could have been things that maybe you didn't notice that you weren't aware of. See, sometimes it's not even that, you know, it gets by us. Sometimes it's that we're not aware of what to look at. You don't even know what to look at. You don't even know what bad looks like. And sometimes, you know, bad can look different, because sometimes good looks bad and bad looks good. Like a lot of us don't understand, you know? So I think everybody should give yourselves a little bit of grace, you know? But also, hey, there's always a chance to get more educated, and that's what I'm here for. Literally got left for having depression. My BF says taking medicine make you weak, and I have no support system. Well, here's the thing. That's a blessing, because that says more about him than you, right? If you're suffering with depression and you need to take medication in order to regulate your system, and he leaves you for that and he says you're weak, that sounds like some projection. Sounds like he's not doing what he needs to do in order to get his life great. And he's trying to throw it back on you and say, you're not doing what you're supposed to do. That's not fair to you, right? It's a blessing. You deserve a more supportive boyfriend than that. That's too much. What is the best way to rebuild trust in a long years relationships? I don't know what you mean by that. What exactly is the nervous system, where there's so many parts to it, right? So one part of it is the sympathetic nervous system. That's the one that's connected through, I think, your amygdala. And in your amygdala, that's the fight or flight part of your brain. And what happens is cortisol levels spike, the amygdala gets set off, the sympathetic nervous system goes off. It's your body's fight or flight response, which is more of a primitive response. If you think back hunter-gatherer, when lions were out and we were hunting, a lot of that stuff is still exists in us today. Only it's evolved into conversation pieces. It's evolved into relational activities. So we still get triggered. And triggered mean heightened response and awareness, and scared. We get scared. We get nervous and fearful. So that's what the nervous system does. But some of us have our nervous system corrupted, where because people have generational trauma and patterns and things in their life and conditioning, we don't know the difference between good or bad because our nervous system is telling us the wrong thing. It's what we naturally feel that is subconscious versus what is conscious and what we see. Sometimes it doesn't add up. That's why some people will say safe and normal is boring, chaotic and crazy is exciting, right? Because sometimes our nervous system is just not wired correctly. And we have to readjust that naturally through practice, through habitual trainings, right? I believe my husband knew what he was doing and it took years before I recognized what it was. Oh, trust me, here's the thing. Most people know what they're doing when they hurt you. They know they're hurting you. Most people know that. If you say, hey, this hurts me, if you say, hey, that doesn't work, if you communicated that, if you've shown that, they know it hurts you. They just don't think it's a problem if you don't walk away. See, that's the thing. You know, people normally change who they respect for who they respect. I'm just being real with you. There's a respect that wasn't there. That's why they're not changing. Because they'll change for their boss. They'll change for the police. But even sometimes some people don't do that. Some people will look at the law and break it and end up in jail. But the point is, they're gonna have to respect somebody. So it's not that they don't know they're hurting you. It's that there's a lack of respect for you. That's what it really is. So when people tell me, because I hear, sometimes I hear people tell me, well, he doesn't know what he's doing is wrong. Like he's just walking around aimlessly in life with no awareness of what's happening. If I look at a person and they say, hey, this hurts. I heard that, right? I heard that. I listened to that, received. But then if I choose to do it again, that means that I know I'm doing it. I know I'm hurting you, but I just don't see a reason to change it because you're still here. See, sometimes I'm like, if I don't respect you enough, then I'm going to go like, okay, well, whatever. But see, some people unfortunately need the threat of you leaving, which to me is not a healthy relationship dynamic. You shouldn't have to just worry about someone leaving. You should just respect them regardless. But some people need that. I'm breaking all the rules. I'm telling you all the tea today. How do narcissists go worrying about the fake facade they put on? Well, that's because they think it's real, So if I put on a fake persona, I'm thinking that the persona isn't fake. I think that it is correct, right? I'm putting it on because I believe in a trial period. Like, as long as I show you this in the beginning, that should buy me in. You should invest. After a period of time, when I start to see that you're flawed, then I can let my stuff go. So it's all about getting invested. That's what they look at it. They don't look at it as a fake facade. They look at it as a trial period to invest. I'm giving you the trailer to the movie. And then once you buy, hey, it is up to you. How to start a healthy relationship when you never had one. Discernment and vetting. You have to learn that. That's something you will learn if you... join my stuff or whatever. I'm sorry, I had a brain squeeze. Trauma bond versus true love. How do you really know the difference? That's a long answer. But here's what I can say just to be short. True love is two people that choose each other knowing they don't have to be with each other. True love is when you look out for the other person, not looking to get something in return, and vice versa. True love is I have your back no matter what, and leaving is not an option, and this relationship is not about me, it's about us and what's good for us, and I prioritize you and you prioritize me. True love is when two people submit to each other. So hopefully that helps. My ex future fakes often. He had narcissistic tendencies and refused to take me on dates, only late night meetups and Uber Eats. Well, that's because he thought that was all you were worth. See, the thing is, some dudes, they kind of measure what they think your worth is, right? So the way this goes is like, okay, I'm going to tell you what I would do, but what I'm actually going to do is different. So I think that you're worth more like maybe an Uber and an Eat every now and then and we have fun, right? That's how he's moving. which is really a reflection on him, because that shows that he thinks his time is worth that too. So some guys will just talk about the future, hoping that you buy into the now, hoping. So that's where I would question you and say, do you think that you're more than a future fake? Do you think that you're worth more than that? Do you think that you're worth more than some dude telling you what you could get? That's like me telling you, oh, you could make $1 million in a year if you do what you're supposed to do, if you work for me. But then in the moment, you don't see any of those millions coming through. When do you cut the cord, right? Appreciate the education, of course. What about when guys get distant when upset in any way? Like ghosting like 2 days and basically waiting for his girls to text first. Well, here's the thing. That's general, right? I don't know how to answer that for every guy. It depends on what's happened. Because some guys are probably upset because maybe the girl did something. Maybe he's told her a bunch of times, you know, hey, don't cross this boundary. I want respect. And maybe she disrespected him, and that's why he's feeling distant. Whereas guys who are manipulative, maybe they're doing it on purpose because they got another girl on the side, or they really don't care about you that much, and they really are focused on their life, and they're hoping, you know, because like even manipulative guys are not always that diabolical to say, oh, I'm just going to ghost you for 2 days because I know it messes with you. Now, one of the benefits is that it messes with you. But what they're thinking is, well, I want to talk to this other girl. I want to live my life. I want to do other things. I'll come back to you when I come back to you. So it could be two ways, you know? Why do some people lack sympathy? Because they don't think it's important. When trust is broken, what are some steps to rebuild trust back in the relationship? Depends on what was broken. It depends, and it depends on your deal breakers. If your deal breakers were broken, there's almost no way back. Be honest with you. Or it'll never be the same. Because when people say, Xavier, I want to rebuild trust in my relationship. Xavier, he cheated, and I want to find a way to get over it. What I'm going to tell you right now is it's almost going to be impossible to recover if you keep. This is what I say. I'm like, in order to recover, you guys have to act as if it didn't happen. There can't be this long period of I'm going to, you know, make you feel bad for that one time you cheated and I'm going to change the dynamic, because that's not what y'all got in the relationship for. Y'all got into the relationship because you guys showed mutual understanding and respect and love. So if that person does something that's so bad that you're like, I can't look at them the same, I can't treat them the same, I can't love them the same, and they need to crawl in order to earn my love back, I'm going to tell you what, a lot of the times that's a sign it's just not going to work, because that doesn't come natural to them, that doesn't come naturally to you, and that's not the relationship you built. You're going to have to find a way to forgive them to an extent that it's almost like it didn't even happen and move about like a normal life. And that's hard for most people. I'm gonna be honest, that's hard. That's hard for me. But not saying that you couldn't do that. I'm sure there's people that do that, but it's playing a risky game. You know, it's kind of tough to do it that way. What would you advise beyond reciprocating the same energy when suddenly after a year, your person starts becoming distant? I'm struggling with this. We'll see. Well, if it's after a year, my question is, do you know why this person did that? Because after a year, I would think that you probably have an idea of why they would do that, right? If this is your person, which means you're in a relationship, a year has gone by, what conversations have you had? How much, I would think you probably know this person a little bit. Like, what did they say? Did they show why? Was it something you were doing? Was it something they were doing that they're going through? Like, I guess I need more detail. Like, if they randomly just started doing it and you have no idea why, then that's a different story. But after a year, I would think maybe you would know why they're doing it and then focus more on that than I just return the same energy. Because what's that going to do? I guess that's why they aren't sympathetic when you voice how they hurt you. No. Because they're thinking in their minds, yeah, if I hurt you so much, then you wouldn't be here. So it's not that bad. How to break up and move out without causing a storm. I don't know. I don't know your situation. Everybody's situation is different, you know? So I'd have to learn, you know, from the situation. How do you know if your guy's a narcissist? You have to take him to a therapist. That's the number one way I would say to find out, considering, I don't want to just list out behaviors and lie to you, because a lot of guys act narcissistic, but they are not narcissists. And sometimes I feel like we give some guys too much credit by calling them a narcissist. They are not a diagnosed narcissist. They just have manipulative behaviors. Some of them are just manipulative and they're just bad guys. Sometimes they're just bad and it has nothing to do with a mental disorder, right? So I don't know. But I would say you can see behaviors if you look online and you look at the, behaviors. Why he tells his friends every time we fight and he makes so much drama. Because he probably values his friends more than you. What does it mean when a guy takes you to his close circle of friends early on? I mean, I don't know, because it's different for every guy, right? Some friends it means something serious. For some friends, it just means, hey, I'm hanging out with a lady that I like, and it's nothing big. Why do narcissist men get their girlfriend pregnant and then ghost them? Because there's no more. They have full control over you now in their minds. The control has gotten to its most extreme point. If I can have a kid with you, then that means you're always tied to me no matter what. So now, why am I here? See, it's all about earning that control. Getting you pregnant is the furthest type of control you can have, because then it's like you can never get rid of me. I'm good. I'm going to go do it to someone else now. 5 years of getting submarine by this man. Why do they do that? Well, the question is, why do you allow it? If you've been submarine for 5 years, and for those of you that don't know, submarine is when a guy randomly disappears for a while and then comes back. But the question is, why do you allow it? You know what I mean? Because that's teaching him that he can do it. You're saying, why do they do it? Because I'm allowed to. It could be that simple. I did it once or twice. You're still around. So I'm going to do it 3-4 more times. If I'm that type of person that doesn't think this is a big deal, then I'm going to get away with it. And then he's going to compound it. So now not only is he doing it, but now he's talking to other girls. It's been 5 years. That's 5 years out of your life. Another 5 years is a decade. How long are you going to waste time with this type of man when you can have a man that doesn't do that? Why is it so hard to walk away? Because emotionally it's hard. It's not hard physically. You see what I'm saying? I'm wording it that way on purpose. Emotionally it's hard, maybe even mentally it's hard, but physically you can do it. You can hang up the phone, you can not talk to this person again, you can cry your eyes out, you can yell into pillows, you can go to a rec room and you can start swinging around the bat, do everything but contact this person. But emotionally is the hardest part. But you can decide to reprogram your emotions. Reprogramming your emotions is a choice, right? I'm talking to a guy who keeps saying he wants to meet up, but not making any effort to visit. But when weeks go past, he will guilt trip and say, we haven't met, as if I haven't done anything. Any advice? Cut your losses. Are you kidding me? You know when a guy likes you, how crazy he's going to go to see you? Like, do you know how intentional guys are who like you? There are billions of men. Billions. And you've got the one that doesn't make any effort to visit and then guilt trips you. He's playing games. You're wasting your time with this guy, and there are so much better guys who have a lot more to offer, who are going to love you in a much better way. You're wasting your time focusing on him way too much. Moving on. So for people in here, the average death rate, right, is 75. 75, a little bit older for women, right? Because as guys, we clock out a bit early. You have that much time to get this right. And that's if you're lucky, because most of us don't even see past 35, 40, 50, right? Every single day, every single week that you waste time on this one dude that kind of acts right and then messes up, that's time out of your life. He's taking time away from your life. You don't know if you're entitled to next week. You don't even know if you're entitled to tomorrow. Why are you wasting days like you got days? We don't know what we got. So with that doubt in mind, use that, right? I don't got time. Life is way too precious and way too amazing to be splurging on a guy like this. Love your vids. They've helped me so much, of course. After being gaslit for 30 years, wow, 30. 6 months ago, you gave me clarity and validation. Thank you so much. I love to hear that. You're a queen. Thank you. What's on my keyboard? Okay, we got it. Boom. I love to save these compliments. If I block a man who breadcrumbs me and then he starts calling, acting obsessive, and showing up in my house, sounds like a restraining order. That sounds very restraining order fun. Like I'm going to have fun with this restraining order. I filed it with a smile on my face. What? You better put up that restraining order before he gets worse. My ex was nice. I like that. But after he got comfortable, he stopped making efforts. And then when I would call him out, he acted like I was asking him for too much. Well, that's because he gave you the trial period. You got these trial period guys who show up and they give you all the world and then they just want to sit back. That means he was never really that guy. Because remembering is like going through it again. That's why you have to work on grounding techniques, right? Remembering is also like a sunken place. When you remember the good times with a person and you remember how things went with the person, sometimes you got to get out of your head. You can't let your head take you that far. You have to fight yourself. You got to fight that natural instinct to reminisce, to ruminate. If you stay in your head too much, it's going to ruin you because it's not supposed to do that. Don't cope with the bad moments by going back to a safe space in your head. No, be in the reality, be in the discomfort. Learn to make this your comfort space. I'm in a situation that I don't know what to do. Can I inbox you about my situation and get some insight? I'm going through it emotionally. Yeah, send me an inbox with the word apply. Because you have to apply to work with me. I get a lot of people that message me all the time, and we have to work through to see if you qualify. But what we'll do is send me a DM with the word apply, and I will get you an application. Why do narcissists give 100% in the beginning, give 50% during the relationship? Because they think you invested already, and they no longer have to do any work. Narcissists never think there's anything wrong. They do when they don't get their way. What do you think when your ex-spouse withholds support just to get you to react and then verbally abuse you by calling you bitter? I think he's childish. I have attempted to understand the why for them being distant suddenly, and all I got is that they're feeling overwhelmed with all the feelings. I see them avoiding the conversations. So here's what I'm going to tell you. A lot of people that tell you that or online is lying to you. You are being lied to. They are not being overwhelmed. A lot of them, that is a lie. I feel like that's like a lie that people sometimes say. And I'm not saying that it's not true for some people, but that's just going to make it worse. When they're just a little overwhelmed, because then you think, well, I can underwhelm them. Like it's not your job. No, that's a lie. I'm going to help you with that. I can tell you the why. I know the why. I know all of these things. Why he tells his friends he manipulates a lot and never tells my side of the story. Because he has to smear campaign you, girl. Why would he do that? Why would he paint himself as a villain? He wants yes men. He wants to lie. He wants people to buy into him and to make him victorious, no matter how problematic he is. Why would he go to his friends and tell them what he did wrong so that his friends can cook him? He doesn't want that. He wants to make you the villain because life is easy when you have a bunch of people that make you feel like a victim. You never have to improve. You never have to be accountable. You never have to build up. You don't have to do anything. What about hot and cold behavior without the girl doing anything to cause it? Like happy 1 minute, then suddenly taking his anger out on her over some trivial, like losing a video game or woke up mad. It sounds like you've got a son. I didn't realize you must be talking about a child. Is he your nephew? Because that's what I'm hearing. How do you navigate casual dating multiple people until a relationship is established? That is a whole process that I discuss. I do discuss this process. You're gonna have to probably join link in my bio and apply, but that's a long one because that is not something that can be simply told. You know, that's a tough one. Because now dating is so different. So you gotta move a little differently. If a guy really likes you and the relationship just started and they ask you if you would relocate, does that mean he sees a future with you? He even said that. Maybe, maybe not. I think he's just trying to see his options because maybe he plans on moving and he just wants to make sure if things go well that you're open to that. You know, he's probably just making sure before you get too far down the road because if you say no, he might be like, oh, well, forget it then. I pray I meet someone like you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm not perfect, though, but I am intentional. I'm 42, and my neighbor who's 22 looks like me. 22 likes me. I find that weird, but why is it flattering, too? I mean, it's an adult that likes another adult. It's an adult that finds another adult attractive. At the end of the day, you know, I know the age gap can be, you know, concerning for some, but it's still nice to be liked. It's still nice to know that, you know, we can still be appreciated. There's nothing wrong with being flattered, you know. In fact, take it, run with it, wield it, right? Let it build you up and take it out into the world. Use that confidence. You know, it's nice. What if it's not wasted because it's experience? Time wasted because it's experience and life lessons. Well, if it's multiple times that you're experiencing the same life lesson, I would say it's time wasted. And I know that sounds a bit, you know, absolute and judgmental. Like, I get it. Coming from me, I get it. But you shouldn't have to keep experiencing the same thing multiple times. At some point, you got to say you're wasting your time. But if it's the first time, then hey, it is what it is. Yes, I'm not trying to ruminate. That's what you got to do. How do you just get out your head? Grounding techniques. I can give you that. That's something you're going to have to apply for. Grounding techniques. Can narcissists change? Yes, they can. I've gotten a bunch of them to change. Put your feet on the ground. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Looking at questions, y'all. We're having a good time today, right? I love y'all. I appreciate y'all for being online. This is fun for me. And let me see how much time I've been on here. It's been 42 minutes already, y'all. Oh, my God. He walked away when I took the mask off. Now we are getting a divorce. Then he had supply ready, 2 women even during our marriage. I'm sorry. I told them all non-cared because they are the same. Okay, no spouse support at all. Okay. I think that's what I got caught up in. I don't have capacity for multiple people. That's okay. But you have to understand, but what does capacity mean, right? Because you don't have to date multiple people. You can just be friends. Like, I think that we've gotten so caught up on the idea that we have to date everyone that is of interest. Whatever happened to just starting off as friends? Whatever happened to just starting off without physical intimacy or getting sensual? Like, why can't we just talk as people and find out through talking as friends? It's like I don't know. Like, we don't go the friend route much. We're straight into dating. And I feel like sometimes that's so jumpy. But that's why you feel overwhelmed sometimes, because it's like I'm showing romantic interest to multiple people and it's exhausting. Yeah, it should be. That's a lot. May God bless me with a man like you one day. Thank you. Thank you. Please, what are some techniques to deal with child handover when there is abuse? My heart, I feel like I'm going to explode. Slip over a sweat puddle. I mean, what kind of abuse are we talking about? We should all lift each other up, 100%. Thank you. I appreciate the feedback. Absolutely. How do I identify an intentional guy? By holding back intimacy. You guys are giving me swishes here. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to know if a guy's intentional? Hold back on intimacy. 3 to 4 months. Because let me tell you, I'm one of those guys that when I date, I'm thinking, okay, could this, or when I'm getting to know you, I'm looking for girlfriend slash wife qualities, right? So that doesn't mean I have to get intimate with you day one. That doesn't mean I have to get intimate with you for even 3 to 4 months. I'm just looking to get to know you as a person. I don't need for it to move so fast. Now, if that's the route we go, that's the route we go, but it's not a requirement, because what's a requirement for me is your head on straight? Is your emotional state in the right place? Are you healing? Are you working on yourself? Are you ready? Are you ready to commit? That's what I care about more than some intimacy. And I think we've gotten so caught up on the idea that, oh man, we got to get intimate quick. No, you don't. You want to find out if a guy really likes you for you and not for gratification behaviors? Stop giving gratification. Because let me tell you, as dudes with our bros, we don't look for that. At least the straight ones, right? We're not looking for intimacy. We're just looking for guys to sit down, talk about life. That's what you got to look for. Not all this servitude up front. Like, that's way too quick. That's way too much. We're doing too much, moving too fast. Slow down, y'all, slow down. But here's the thing. I understand that some people, they move faster and it made it work. But I don't base my career off exceptions and those lottery stories. I base it off what's more commonly gonna work, right? And what I've done to personally help people of all different kind of races, ethnicities, backgrounds, religions. I've helped anywhere from Christian, Muslim, Sikh, Buddhist, like atheist. I've helped everybody, right? Why narcissistic man? I answered that already. I'm watching from Poland, and it's 2:22 here. 2:22. It feels like such a fun number. I should sleep long ago, but I can't miss your live. I understand. I keep it stimulating, girl. I will stimulate this place. Have you ever had a connection with any of the women you've coached and ended up dating each other? I'm just curious. No, I have not done that. I take my career very serious. I take it very serious, and I don't cross that line. So I feel like that would ruin my integrity. That would ruin the purpose here, because these people are trusting me with their vulnerability and their honesty, and I think it's because I know you're saying it from an innocent way. You're like, well, what if you guys stop sessions and you become friendly and then you just happen to date? I just haven't seen myself in that way. I don't see that. I think that my purpose is to serve right now, and my purpose is to focus on the mission and not on doing something like that. I actually think that, my person is going to come from outside of the, coaching container. But yeah, that's a good question. I would say I've definitely become maybe friends with some of them, like friendly, because maybe we had something else we could help build each other on in careers and stuff like that. But that's about it. I wish I could have been friends with the man I'm with now because I feel so trapped. Yeah, that's what happens when you move too fast. See, I'm telling you, ladies, you want to know the trick to getting to know these guys? Just be friends with them. Be cool with them, right? And I know, but see, the problem is society has built this double standard approach to men and women. There's all these double standards. And there's all of this stuff. You got to stop listening to society. You could be in the world, but not of the world, right? You can be in the world, but not of the world. Honestly, you want to really see a dude be who he really is? Go to anywhere. If you like coffee, go to Starbucks, get a coffee, and go for a walk, right? Because a lot of ladies will tell me, well, Xavier, he should pay the first date. But what you're doing is you're setting yourself up too for failure, because this dude is not being authentic. You want to bring his authenticity out. It's not about the money right now. It's about getting to know you. It's not about intimacy, and it's not about money. It's about getting to know the person that you're going to spend the rest of your life with. If you're looking for marriage and a long-term partnership, you got to get to know the person without putting in all the superficial. You got to take that out. Get to know them for who they are. And then later on, you can start saying, hey, if we're going to date, you got to pay. I need a man that's looking to provide, that's looking to be a leader. Because here's what I'm going to tell you right now. I am a man that believes in providing, protecting everything. I believe in paying for everything. I believe in providing, protecting, all of that. But at the same time, when we meet up, I would like to get to know from me. If you're looking for a marriage, if you're looking for forever, then you need to get to know me and I need to get to know you outside of all of this double standard stuff, right? But that doesn't mean, wasting each other's time. It just means getting to know each other. You know what I mean? I'm probably gonna ruffle some feathers with that, but hey, there's a reason why a lot of people are ending up in toxic relationships, and this is stuff that could stop it. I know. I was married for 33 years to a narcissist, and we divorced. And 6 months later he came back and love bombed me, and I fell hard. And he is with me. His phone was always off. I called him out. Okay. What's next? How to deal with constantly cheating and collecting these escort numbers in this phone. I mean, it depends. How do you feel about HIV? I'm just being real with you. How do you feel about STDs? And nothing against it, for anyone that might be infected. But if you're not infected, how do you feel about getting infected? Because that's what you're signing up for. Narcissists use your body. It's not lovemaking. I agree. Hey, is it okay for a woman to go silent in a relationship and just not talk to the guy? It's okay to do whatever you want. But I don't know why you're doing it or what you're trying to accomplish here. So that's the question. It's like, why? What is the point of that? Are you done? You trying to get a reaction? I don't know. I don't want. You do whatever you want, but I don't know the reasoning, so I can't just say that off a high level. My neighbor who lives with his girlfriend and child hoovers my home. I caught the neighbor in my garage. He turned his cameras facing my home, and every time I go outside at night, he's flickering the lights. Wait, is he physically in your property? Narcissistic men really want kids? Sure, some do, I guess. Why not? How do you fix narcissist who has childhood trauma? By working with somebody like me. You're going to need someone like me who's been doing this for years. Otherwise, it's going to be really almost impossible to do it as their partner. How do you start dating again after a relationship with a narcissistic player? You learn yourself through someone like me. Why do I feel uncomfortable when guys flirt with me? Well, it depends on how they're flirting, right? I don't know what your idea of good looks like, but not every flirt is nice and not every flirt is intentional. I also don't know what you've been through. Have you been through something uncomfortable with guys in your childhood, growing up? There could be, something going on with your nervous system there, right? My partner tries to control me whether I want to go outside, make new friends, or choose what to wear when I go out. He also tries to isolate me, but claims that none of this is control. Well, here's the thing. If you are against this, because maybe he doesn't look at it as control, right? And I'm not saying this to say it's not control, but maybe he doesn't look at that as control. So if he doesn't and you do, one of you is going to have to give it up. Because if he's like, this is what I want, I don't think it's control, I think of it as a boundary, he just created his own subjective reality. He can do that. But you can choose to leave. And everything comes with the variable of what exactly is happening, That is respect to him, and he is trying to teach me what my father didn't. That's what he's trying to say to me. He's trying to teach you what your father didn't? Nah, that's over the line. That's wild. Nah, I take it all back. He's always at my house, invading my space, like he wants to control me. Well, why haven't you called the cops yet? How soon should I mention during the date that I'm not having sex until marriage? Well, here's how I look at it. If the person is looking for marriage, here's the thing. If I was in the dating market and I was the type of person that was waiting until marriage, I would tell everybody. And that probably sounds a little crazy, but I would tell everybody. I would tell them because that's the quickest way for me to not get my time wasted. I would tell everybody. Yeah, I can't do it. Yeah, I can't do it. Yeah, I'm just letting you know I'm waiting till marriage. Hey, I date to wait till marriage. I'm not sleeping with anyone. I would just, I'll just tell them straight up. So that way, there should be no pressure. Because the risk is like, you get down the road and that's not the case, and they find out and they're like, oh, and then they want to leave. You don't want to waste your time. You know, I would like to say you shouldn't have to. Now, here's the thing, you don't have to, but that's what I would do. I would like to say you shouldn't have to say it at all, and people should just, but there's a lot of people that don't want to wait till marriage. So you just got to be careful. The times have changed. Times have changed, girl. I should be seeing you instead of my psychiatrist and therapist. A lot of people quit their therapist when they start seeing me. Well, because I'm just a specialist in this area. You know, I'm not perfect, but in this area, oh yeah. Should I look for a new relationship or just be single and date? I don't know what's going on in your relationship to answer that. What happens when someone withholds intimacy and he promised loyalty for years, then later found out he was having intimacy with others during the time he was apparently being loyal? I mean, you're asking me what happens. I don't know. I mean, why are you in it? He just lied to you about everything. What are you still doing here? He doesn't give me the reassurance. I don't think he knows the difference between clarity and reassurance. He knows the difference. It's literally okay, let's do this. Let's do this. You guys, ladies, sometimes, and I say this with love, but you give these guys way too much credit to be dumb. You know what I mean? Like, it's like you're wording it like some of these guys don't know how to use a dictionary. Like, reassurance, I could look it up right now. We have devices that will tell us. Reassurance meaning the action of removing doubts and fears. This is from the Oxford Languages, right? He knows that. Child needs reassurance and praise, a statement and comment that removes someone's doubts and fears. We've been given reassurance. So there it is. It's right here. And if he wants to know more about what it means, it's right here on Google. What does it mean to give someone reassurance? Something such as information, praise, or an action of gesture that soothes, comforts, and restores confidence. It's right here. So if you say he doesn't know the difference, it's because he doesn't care. It's not that he doesn't know. He doesn't care. These guys are not that dumb. They are not. A lot of them are a lot smarter, but they just don't care. And when you say it, they don't care because you said it. They don't respect you. Will this live be saved? You'll have to check this out in my private community. For everyone that wants to join my private community, I put these lives in there. You can go back and rewatch it. Yep, but you will have to sign up. But good question, thank you. What type of men come to you for help? I know my ex-husband is a narcissist and he was diagnosed in the military with many disorders. How do you get someone to get help? Men who want to be better. Get help from me. Men who want to stop being manipulative, men who want to be better in their marriage or their relationships, who don't want to lose the woman they love, come to me. And I teach them how to look at things and shape things in a way that works for the woman that they're with. How to get out of a 17-year relationship, marriage with a narcissist. You gotta book with me or something. And if a man is successful, he knows how to do what he says he will. Okay. I can't never a narcissist. I can't ever date. Is that what you mean? I can't ever date a narcissist that broke my trust. Never again. No second chances. Okay, good. That's a good thing. Feels like we're all dating the same guy in just different shapes. It's a good point. We as women are tired and scared of men nowadays. It's frightening. I don't blame you. You want to hear something crazy? We as men are tired of men nowadays. Even as other men, we're tired of it too. Clearly we don't have the same experiences and, certain fears that you do. But there's a lot of guys out here who are tired of other guys. We're tired of them. You know what I mean? We're tired. Guys gaslight women is like they gaslight men. They manipulate people. They manipulate us guys too. Just like they use you, they use us guys too. They use us. I've got some dudes where I'll go out and if I'm talking to a few ladies, the guy will sell me out just to get with the girls. He'll be like, oh yeah, but Xavier is no good because of XYZ, and he'll start tearing me apart. He'll start trying to leap over me and putting me down in order to get the girl. So I can't stand them either. They're annoying to me too. I'm gonna send my boyfriend some of your videos to see his reaction. You want to fight? That's what that sounds like. If you send him my videos, you looking to fight. I was saying, if a man is successful, he knows how to be on time, honor his word. What dude says. What does successful mean, though? What do you mean by that? You must have had the best parents, taught values, God bless. Yes, I had great parents growing up. I can say that. My parents, you know, I wasn't always the perfect son. I definitely did some things that aren't representative of my childhood. But yes, my parents did a good job with raising me. Both of them were active in my life, and I appreciate them and I love them, and I make sure that they know that. But thank you. Can you answer my question? Narcissistic men want kids. Yeah, I answered it already. I said, yeah, they do. Why not? But do they want to take care of them? That's a different story. That's a different story. You're a good man. Thank you for helping so many people. Thank you so much. I live to serve, you know. Thank you for saying that, though. That's reassuring. Because, yeah, I love to serve. I love to help people. And I'm so glad that this is the journey that I've been chosen for, because this is something that I can do and always feel happy to do it. Why narcissistic men are controlling? Because they don't look at you as a person. They look at you as something. There's no lack of lust, though. Also, women can easily have, so we don't want the lust. What do you mean? What are you talking about? Is ghosting good in a relationship in order for me to breathe? Well, why does it that? So what are you breathing from? Like, here's the thing. I think you're trying to get to a root here. Like, there's a reason why you did this and why you're doing this. And it sounds like you're not being validated in doing so. So I don't know, without much context. I can't just answer that, you know, and the context is I like ghosting guys for no reason. You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to understand why you're doing that. Like, what's if you want me to help you understand, you know, whether this is a positive or negative impact in your life. Definitely found your purpose. Love that. Thank you so much. How can women learn to stay detached to men just like men don't attach? Well, men do attach, right? They just go about it differently. Women and men are very similar in that way. We get attached just like women do. It's just that societally, men are told to go find more women and to sleep around. Women are told to stick with one guy, right? So we're just conditioned differently, but we both do the same thing. You don't want to be like a guy. Let me tell you that. Guys who are just sleeping around and devoid of any emotions and they don't learn about themselves, you don't want to be like that. Don't think that that's a superior way to be. It's not. Okay? So I'm going to tell you that right now, because I feel like online it's told, oh, well, guys can do this so much better. I want to be like a guy. I want to be able to do this just like a guy. Don't be like guys. We're not perfect. Look at how much we're taking our lives every year. You really want to be like you don't want that. And I'm not saying that's what you're saying. But as soon as I hear, well, how can I do this like a guy? You don't want to. Women have their own particular energy that is strong, that is amazing, that needs to be for you, right? There's some things that you have that we cannot match. But here's the thing. Instead of saying, how can I learn to stay detached? Ask yourself, how can I learn discernment? Discernment is going to mitigate the attachment. Discernment is the way to go. I'm telling you, if anything you can learn today, discernment and radical acceptance, those are things that can help. Because just saying, I want to detach to be detached, some guys will like a girl so much and sleep with the next 10 girls and then come back to that one girl because he never detached. Just because they're sleeping around and dating other girls doesn't mean that they're detached. I mean that men are trying to get laid. We don't have that problem, so lusting is old. Oh, okay, so you're saying, well, so that's the thing, right? That's a certain type of guy. right? So that's what I'm talking about. Good point. So what you're saying is that men are always trying to look to get laid and that women get it easy, so women get tired of that and they get bored. I think that's what you're trying to say. But here's what I would also say as a comeback, as like a build up, a build on to what you're saying. There's a certain type of guy that runs around looking to get laid all the time. So maybe we need to look at those kinds of guys in a different light. Why are they so hyper focused on getting laid? Why are they not focused on purpose and building? I mean, as ladies, you say you want protectors and providers. How many protectors and providers have time to run around sleeping with women all the time? You know what I mean? That's a lot of time. That's a lot of effort. How much money do you have coming in every month? How many businesses have you built? How many people have you helped? That's what I care about. So if it's old to you, then maybe that's a good thing, because maybe you should focus more on guys that are not looking through the lens of lust. And that means you're gonna have to turn away a lot of guys, which to me is a great thing, right? Even better. I found my ex after having kids is when the narcissist tendencies came out because the attention was no longer on him. He wasn't the center of my attention. Makes sense. Trying to break from the manipulation. Okay, well, I think we're talking a lot in pieces here. And I think you might want to consider booking with me because I'm still questioning the story, I recently got pregnant. I am 7 months. He's been fighting me. I took him back thinking he will change, but it's getting worse. He was in the army and he took me to jail, making it seem as though, is he a narcissist? I don't know. I'm not a therapist. I can't diagnose him. I would just say it sounds like two people that are in a pretty, challenging situation. Ghosting because I feel like I've lost myself in the relationship. My feelings are invalidated and my needs are just taken for granted. Okay, so are you in a relationship? Like, are you committed? Slim, I think you're asking a lot of questions. I feel like you're gonna need more than this live. Is it wrong to keep forgiving abuse just because you still have hope things might work out? You're in a long-term relationship and you're pretty sure you have no way to leave. Well, if you have no way to leave, I think there's a difference between forgiving and forgetting, right? Like if you're forgiving a person, that normally means that you're letting go of what happened, but that doesn't mean that you let them back in. So you're asking me if it's wrong. It matters to you. But what I would say is if you're in a situation that you have to keep getting hurt physically, mentally, emotionally, I would ask you, do you think that that's wrong? If I turn the question around and I say, is it okay for you to keep getting hurt, for you to keep getting abused? So let's ask that question instead. Because the way that you're phrasing it almost dresses it up where it's hard to say one or the other. So I'm just gonna simplify that for you. What is emotional whiplash? It's when someone keeps doing the opposite of what they say. I like you, then I ghost you. I want you, then I don't. I'm happy, then I'm not. It can make you feel like it's just another word for emotional roller coaster. Do you ever notice certain zodiac signs showing up more in toxic, like some clash out? I don't believe in associating zodiac signs with toxic people. Because I believe that regardless of your sign, you are in charge of the choices that you make. When a guy tell you to basically tell him how you are turned on by him and how attracted you are to him, he would say that would make him want me what to do. I don't know. It just sounds like that's what he likes. Some guys it sounds like he likes words of affirmation. And some people are turned on by that, just like some people are turned on by acts of service when you do stuff for them, or gifts when you give them a gift. Sounds like he's a words of affirmation guy. Also, random question. Are you ever visiting Dubai? Because I'm sure there are so many people here who would want to meet you. I've always thought about going to Dubai someday for sure. Dubai, I heard, is a very beautiful place, very beautiful people over there. But like I said, if you want to join my private community or apply to work, go ahead and click the link in my bio or send me a DM. with the word apply. I'm looking at my stuff right now to see who is showing up. Great to have you there. Thank you. Appreciate it. In your opinion, what is a narcissist? I mean, I'm not going to give my opinion because I think that's more of a scientific thing. You know what I mean? It's like, in your opinion, what is a person with depression? I mean, I don't know. I think that has more to do with, yeah. I'm looking at my comments because I got this going on Facebook. Trauma bonded, trying to break free while he's in jail for violation of protective order in front of my kids. Also find out I'm AUDHD. Okay. I agree, sir. Better let go even if it hurts because you love the person. It's most worthy, satisfying rewards of their person peace of mind. Whoa. All right, let me see more questions. Shannon Coleman, she wants to work. To simplify, if he can be on time, do what he says he will with passion at work, lets you down, doesn't do what he says, it's a choice. Yeah, pretty much. How do you stop subconsciously trauma bond? You have to talk to someone like me. Do narcissists ever think about the people they've hurt? Sometimes. I love all your videos. Thank you. Even without truly knowing their history, you will still trauma bond. What to do about it? You got to talk to someone like me. You got to get work done. I've got some good rates if you want to work with me. You know, I got a few spots left. So whoever, it's first come, first serve. I got a few spots open for people who want to do some real work. You have helped me more than you will ever know. Thank you for your advice and insight. Thank you too, girl. Thank you for saying that. You're wonderful. What did I miss? A lot. We've been on here for over an hour. Where you been, girl? He's affectionate but never plan a date. What do you think? Tell him to plan a date. Tell him like this. I love a man that plans a date. I just think that's so sexy. He's gonna be like, I wanna be sexy. How can I be sexy? Yeah, I'm telling you, you want to get a man to do whatever, tell him what you think is sexy. I think it's so sexy when a man does his own laundry. I think it's so hot when a man does his own laundry, when he washes his underwear. I'm just so turned on. That man's going to be running to do his, he's going to be like, I did my underwear today. You see it? How to identify a person who dates with purpose? Remove intimacy. Remove intimacy. 3 to 4 months. Stop sleeping with them. You want to find out if that person's really for you? See how they act. Works every time. Some people can't hold out that long. The mask is going to fall off. At month 3, they're going to be like, man, I'm burnt out. The fakers are gonna be all weeded out. Laundry is always at the top of the list. I know. I hear ladies talk about it all the time. What does he want? His underwear? It stinks. What's going on, Lacey? What's up, girl? He loves me, but only wants me to do Netflix and chill. He don't love you. Or you know what? I'll take it back. He loves you on his terms. He's loving you on his terms. But here's my thing. Did you tell him that you want to do more than Netflix and chill? That's how side chicks are treated. You're getting side chick love. Does he have money? Is he broke? Hanging in there. I know. It's a wild world we're in. You have helped so many people. You are so wise. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Y'all are too kind today. Y'all making me blush. You're making me feel good about myself. See, that's reassurance. Appreciate it. I got a lot of DMs coming in. What's side chick treatment? Side chick treatment, the side chick is the woman that doesn't get priority. She gets leftovers. I got my main girl, which is, you know, my potential wife and the person I want to spend the rest of my life with potentially. And she gets everything. She gets first dibs on my finances, my love, my energy. And the side chick, she gets some Netflix and a TV dinner. Because I don't have enough money to support both of y'all unless I'm rich. I just got a divorce a couple of months ago. My ex got with someone days after moving out. I feel like that's a distraction. I'm too scared to date yet. Can you explain trauma bonds? Oh, man. Well, I'm trying to understand why. Like, I mean, do you still miss him? You still miss him? Do you have any opinions or views on long distance relationships? You guys have to have a plan. I'm sorry. People do it all the time, but doing it without a plan, in my opinion, is just doomed to fail. You gotta have a plan. Are we in this for 6 months, a year? Who's moving where? What we're doing? It can work. It can work. But you kind of want to be careful about, you know, like how long you're doing it and if there's any real moves or plans to be made. You gotta make plans. Just doing it to do it and being pen pals, I feel like it's gonna lead to some kind of cheating. Is cheating back ever justified when your narcissistic partner has cheated on you repeatedly and you were just waiting unaware of everything happening behind your back? I would never justify cheating. So, I mean, that's like saying, you know, if someone hits you with a car, do I have a right to go back and hit them with a car? I mean, I don't know. Ask the court. You know, like, here's the thing. Like, at the end of the day, your character is your character. If you're doing something, if you're sleeping with a whole nother person just to get back at a person that has nothing to do with it, then that means you can't say that you're any better than them. If I cheat on my person because she cheated on me first and I want to get her back, then that means that I'm just as petty as she is. I'm no better. I'm out here sleeping with someone else while I'm supposed to be in a relationship. So at that point, I can't hold her accountable because I did the same thing. Two wrongs don't make a right. So at the end of the day, you have to uphold your own personal character and integrity outside of that person. Yeah, I mean, it hurts, but I'm confident and happy enough with myself to say I'm not going to just cheat because she did it. If that's what you want to do, that's on you. Can I forgive him for cheating if it's his first time doing it? I mean, people do it all the time. I think it's your story. I think if you can find a way to do it and that's what works for you guys, then I think that's an option to take. You know, some people are able to bounce back from that. I've seen it. But don't let the world tell you what to believe. Is cheating? I already answered that. I already answered that. I'm just knocking these out the park. What's up with a guy that doesn't help out financially and talks about growing together, building a future, and talks about 50-50? Well, I mean, he's saying 50-50. So if you date a guy that says 50-50, then that means he believes I provide what for myself, you provide for yourself, and we come together. And when we're ready to commit, we will put half and half towards the same thing, right? So it looks like he wants more of a co-partnership. He wants to be equals, and he wants you both to put up. So why does he have to? Are you asking him to put in more financially than you? Because that's not 50-50. Is it really petty when you expect to hear him say, I want to have a wife and children, instead of him saying, I want to be a husband and father? I don't know. Are you trying to say that you don't think he values trying to be a husband and he's just looking for a wife? No help at all. Well, I mean, so if he says 50-50, what have you guys talked about that? Like, have you talked about what you agreed for help on? Like, have you guys had that conversation? What do you do when the one person you want to talk to and receive a hug from is now withholding intimacy and emotional communication just because he spent 15 minutes voice messaging me instead of talking? So is he withholding it, or does he just not want to do it? You know how hard it is for a person to be like, I secretly want to do this, but I'm withholding it? Sounds to me like he just doesn't want to do it. He's sending you a voice message instead. Are you guys in a relationship? That should be my first question. Tatiana, are you two in a relationship? I love y'all, by the way. Love y'all. Love everybody on here. If you want to work with me further, if you want to I've got some rates for a small group of people that if you're ready to work, I can get you in and you can work with me personally. If you want to do that, go ahead and let me know. Oh boy. He doesn't want to talk to me verbally, and yes, we are in a relationship and live together for 12 years now. You've been together for 12 years? Do you want to be married? How can we look out for guys who pretend to support and say all the right things only at the start of the relationship? Pretend to support and say and does all the right things only at the start of the relationship. So you have to hold back on intimacy. I will say this throughout this whole thing. How do we look out for it? Hold back on intimacy and learn about yourself. You got to learn about yourself. Please message me your rates. Well, it's different for everybody. What I would say is send me a DM. She's like, you send me a DM. I'm on live right now. She's like, hey, you come to me. I love it. Send me a DM, and I will talk to you. Because I got to learn, everybody's situation is different, but there is a good chance that you will qualify for something special because I got some stuff going on. Huh? What does that mean? He doesn't want to talk to you verbally. I'm confused too. He want me to just listen to his message without him repeating himself. It sounds like you got a lot more going on. 30 years and 2 kids. He never married me. Let me tell you something. If a guy takes more than a year, 2 years at the most, you're wasting your time. Sorry. If you guys are marriage oriented and he takes more than a year or 2, he's just using you. I'm be real. No, I know. Here's the thing. I might get in trouble for that one, but I don't believe it takes you that long to know if you want to marry someone. I'm sorry. It don't take you that long. That's wild. We can go down to the courthouse. Yes, I do want to be his wife, but I'm still trying to heal from the lying and cheating when I was pregnant a few years ago. I'm be honest with you, it sounds like y'all are not in a good space. It sounds like y'all are not in a good space. Because you're still trying to heal. Is it from something he did? It's a wild situation. She said, run, sister. Run. You got to run. You know what? Do any of y'all want to talk to me on Zoom live, like right here? I do live calls. I'll do it. I'll do it. I got time. I told him to plan a date, but 7 months later, still no date, and tired to even play tennis. Well, that's because you spent 7 months with him. There's no incentive. If you say something like that, you better stand on it. Because if you don't and you stick around, he's not gonna do nothing. He's like, all right, 2 months went by, he still didn't plan a date, you're still here. So that's what he's thinking, right? There's no incentive. And I've been trying to tell him that we're not in a good space, but it just seems like he doesn't want to hear it or acknowledge it. Yeah, because he doesn't have to. He can get away with behaving like this and still have you. To a lot of ladies on here, you want to know why he acts the way he does? Because he still got you. You're not gone. So why should he have to change if he can still have you at a discount? If he can still have you without putting in effort, without being considerate of you or showing you that he loves you or looking out for you or caring about you or communicating with you or caring about what your needs are, then why should he have to do it now? Why can't you leave? That was funny. If he walks like a duck, and he's probably a duck. Yeah, these guys want you at discount. They're like, man, I ain't got to do all that talking and communicating and accountability. I want you at discount. That's why a guy came in and said 50-50, and then she ended up paying for everything. He was like, yes, I got it. Emotional discounts. So you can't request it? Yeah, because I'm on you have to, if you want to go on Zoom with me, send me or put in the comments. Do you want to go with Zoom? Who wants to do it? But you got to have a question. Damn, that hurts, but thank you. I broke up with him, by the way. Yeah, I'm really glad because that's the best thing you could have done for yourself. Now you free up space. You can heal and you can get with a person that values you. It hurts, but at the same time, it's freeing you. If we have to hurt to be freed, then maybe that's the process, right? Hurts now, but is amazing later. Worth it. It's like going to the gym. Sometimes it hurts to lift that heavy weight, but you feel so much better after, which reminds me, I got to go to the gym soon. Not today, though. I'm going tomorrow. I'm pregnant now, and he's been putting our daughter in the middle of us. So that's, I'm so glad I'm way better now sniffing the flags. I've been in the same situations for so long. Don't give up. Trust me, it gets better. I just feel so emotionally trapped. In a relationship with a man. We just had our first and only child. She's 5 months old. He cheated on me during my pregnancy. I'm sorry. I'm still struggling to trust him. Should I walk away or try to save our family? I think it depends. You know, if you're able to get past it, that could be a positive. How is he treating you now? I guess that's another question. How is he treating you now? I don't advocate for cheating, by the way, for anyone who might be concerned. I don't advocate for cheating at all. If anyone wants to jump on live or you want to get on a Zoom call while I'm on here, let me know. We could talk about your situation. What is this? Do I have a lack of emotional connection if tried dating, but the moment they are not available to talk or even go out? What? I guess you might have to retype that. I don't understand that too much. Why do men cheat on their wives or partner, especially when she is pregnant? Well, that's because she is not able to cheat back. She's not able to go be single and go run the streets anymore. So he feels like it's the best time. In a relationship with a man, we just had our first and only child. She's 5 months old. He cheated on me during my pregnancy. I'm still struggling to trust him. Should I walk away or try to save our family? Oh, well, I already read that. I already read that. Read all this. He struggles when I get triggered, but yet he says he understands he completely messed up and wants to fix the mistakes. He constantly says he doesn't want to lose, but when I try to set boundaries, well, that's because it's not natural, you know? Like I said, for those of you who want to work with me, it's first come, first serve. So make sure you're sending the DMs because I'll be checking it after this call. Not letting everybody in. He fails to always honor them. He doesn't, it's not, he fails because he probably doesn't care. If someone is not letting you go, but as soon as you go out and redo your life and come back is an aggressive insult. What? That's crazy. How can you walk away? Just do it. Come to an end, but I don't know how to leave because I feel like I would be letting my daughter down. Well, see, that's a good question. Are you letting your daughter down by leaving? We can always look at it as we can also look at it as, are you letting your daughter down by accepting treatment that hurts you? Are you creating generational trauma? You know what I'm saying? It's up to you. I was with narcissists for almost 10 years and I have a lot of trust issues. What are some ways to regain trust in future partners? That's something we'll walk through if you work with me. To appreciate your brutal honesty, they are guiding me to healing. Thank you. Of course, I got you. I do this all out of love, by the way, because I want to see you with guys that treat you right. People can say anything to get what they want. Doesn't matter if narcissist or not. It's about congruency, y'all. She's right. Develop healthy boundaries and not let trust issues affect future relationships. I mean, yeah, that's one way to look at it. That can work. Mine got me pregnant, said he needed to take a step back from being in a relationship, but then got in another one and now got her pregnant and gave her everything he promised to give me, so it seems. Yeah, for now. I'm sorry that happened to you, though. Did you ever have failed relationship and have people hurt you in the past where you were being victimized? Oh, yeah, I've been on the giving and receiving end of manipulation. I've hurt people and people have hurt me. I have a few failed relationships, and that's where I got a lot of this experience from, you know? I was usually the bad guy, though. I'm good now, but I used to be the bad guy. I never did any of the cheating or physical abuse or anything like that, though. That wasn't my bag. But yeah, I've been on both sides. Anybody want to jump on live? Who wants to talk? Talk to me through Zoom. Why do men act like they are all in few weeks only to change? Trial period. That's a trial period. Thought about that one for a sec. Yeah. What do you mean for now? I do. I'll talk. Okay, you want to talk? Okay. Hold on. Hold on. Been through it all. So everything seems like changes you close to your 30s. I've been doing it. Still. No, yeah, same. People saying they want to get on Zooms now, and I want to. To Bianca Joy. How do I find that? Hold on. I'm getting it ready. Bam, I sent you a link. Wait, did it work? Why can't I message you? Wait. What in the heck? There it is. Ah, gotcha. I gotta take out this mic. All right, so y'all will be able to hear our live call now. Also, if you don't necessarily get the justice you deserve, just focus on yourself. It really sounds 8:15, but it's really true. Do these Zoom calls? Well, I send the DM out personally, and then we go from there. Everyone these days has either cognitive dissonance issues, avoidant personalities, narcissistic patterns. Everyone needs therapy. There are a lot of broken people. I would agree with that. I would agree with that. Yeah, a lot of people need help, need mental help, need emotional help. I agree. Cognitive dissonance is the biggest thing, man. Oh my goodness. Cognitive dissonance, that's what all these ladies are talking about, honestly. How many dudes come in and say all these nice things and do all the right things, and then they show you the opposite later? That's cognitive dissonance. Honestly, it just goes to show how many people are hurting and how many people are not healed, right? Like, I think that's what it comes down to. A lot of people are hurting, a lot of people are not healed, and we need some healing because, it's tough out here now. That's why when you find a person that is healed and has their stuff together and they're willing to love you and there's an attraction, man, that is rare now. That's getting to be a lot more rare. So when you find them, hold on to them. Get out this dating game. Get out the game. They lied to us. Here's the thing. No shame against being single, right? Like, people be like, oh, being single is so much fun. I mean, don't get me wrong. There are a lot of fun things to being single, right? You get to be as selfish as you want to the fullest extent. No one's going to bother you. But at the same time, you got to think, right? There are pros and cons to it. It's not everything. An unpopular suggestion, but for me, I'm trying to join. Go live. You trying to join? You trying to join the Zoom link? Did you join on the Zoom? Unpopular suggestion, but for me, the true healing happened when I began to talk to God first and build a deeper relationship with Him. Why would that be unpopular? Is that unpopular now? I thought a lot of people were doing that. Well, I guess, times have changed. No cons in being single? I disagree. I disagree. Yeah, I think how about being alone in my apartment? If I get sick, who's gonna call? Who's gonna call the hospital? Hold on. Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. What is your name?
My name's Bianca.
Hi, Bianca. Where you from?
Hi. I'm from California.
What part?
Long Beach.
Long Beach. How far are you from the valley?
San Fernando Valley?
Yeah.
Well, that depends. If you consider traffic, it's about 3 hours.
Oh
If
goodness.
without traffic, 45 minutes.
You out there. Okay, okay. So it's like it's like 6:21 over there, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I don't, yes, yes, it is.
Awesome.
Where are
Well,
you located?
I'm in Virginia. I'm in Virginia, so I'm East
Oh, I
Coast.
have family in Virginia.
What part of Virginia?
Do you know what part of Virginia? I actually don't know. They just moved there.
Yeah, a lot of people are moving here. It's getting a little packed. I'd like to stop that. The
I
prices are
know.
going up. Anyway, but what you got going on for me? What's going on with your life?
Well, I've been following you a lot, or like watching all your stuff, and it's really been helpful. But pretty much, I don't even know where to start. I feel like there's just so much, and I don't know how to condense all the information. But I'll start with this. I met someone. Things were going really well. Like they were checking all the boxes, and I hate to be that person who checks boxes, but there were certain qualities I was looking for, and it seemed like we were both on the same page on what we wanted in life. Um, he had a lot of the qualities and morals, so I thought that I had, and so we started planning a future together, and then we started planning to build a family. He has 3 kids already, um, with his ex-wife, and so we started talking about building a family together. And I've shared a few things on your post and sent a few things, and you answered some of them. But what's interesting in all of this is that when he met me, I had my like put together. I had my job, I had my own like place. I was just doing really well. I was thriving, and he liked that about me. Well, what happened is that after we found out I was pregnant, we spent months trying to have the baby. So after I found out I was pregnant, 2 months later, he decides, you know what? I'm not ready to be in a committed relationship right now. I know I want to be with you, but I need to take a step back and reprioritize, my kids. So I thought, okay, well, I don't see how I'm keeping you from being a father to your children. Yes, he says he has full custody of his kids, but he has primary custody of his kids, not full custody. But he does have them primary physical custody, so he does have a majority of the time. So I was like, well, who am I to be step in the way of, a father trying to be there or be better for his kids? I didn't agree with it, but I was
So
trying to be
I don't mean to
supportive.
stop you, but I just want to make sure I'm getting this. So how old is he?
He's 27.
He's 27, and how young are you?
I am 37. 30. I was 35 at the time. Um,
35 at the time that you met him.
yes, yes.
Okay, so how long ago did you guys meet?
It was earlier last year, like in January.
Okay, and he already had kids.
Yes,
How many
yes.
kids did
He
he
has
have?
three children
He
with
had
his
three
ex-wife.
with his ex-wife. Okay, and
Yeah.
how old are they?
The oldest just turned 9, and then at the time his son was 8, and then he has a 7-year-old, and then the youngest was 5.
So he had them when he was like in his early 20s.
Yeah, well, actually, they were still in high school.
Wow, so they got
Uh,
pregnant in high school.
yeah,
Okay, and then he
yeah,
and then he
he was
married
maybe
her.
17.
So then he married her.
Hmm.
They grew up what? And do you know why they split up?
Um, she, so the stuff he told me was not the 100%, it wasn't the truth, but I'll tell you what he told me. He told me that she cheated on him and she was a liar and she neglected the kids. And
And you say
um,
that's not the truth, 100%.
that's not the truth. So he would never let me talk to her. So I never even got to hear her side. I always assumed there's like two sides to the story. Um, but in this case, he kind of made himself look like the good guy. It wasn't until after I got out of the situation I was able to talk to the ex-wife, and we both kind of had a coming to of what was happening. He um, he would he was very controlling, so there was a lot of stuff that he was doing
Okay,
in their relationship that.
so just to get in on here, do you so did so you guys have a child together already?
Yeah, so we planned to have her baby, and then after he was so excited, like so we found out I was pregnant after trying for 6 months. 2 months after we find out I'm pregnant, he was really excited about it, right? And then I want to say actually it was not 2 months; it was like a few weeks later, and then he was excited about it, and then 2 weeks later he decided, I want to take a step back before I raise my kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when he did that, I didn't agree with it, but I was pregnant. What was I going to do? Like, well, I kind of have no choice but to be supportive. We're already having this child. And he was saying, I know I want to be with you. I know I want to marry you. I know you're the one I want to spend my life with, but I just need to prioritize my kids. Well, that wasn't the truth. He was cheating on me. He was with this girl. She was there in the picture.
What girl? Was it
And
his ex or was it another girl?
it was a girl that he used to be with in high school, and he said they were friends with benefits in high school. But then,
He's carrying two girls from high school.
yeah,
This
and at full circle, he cheated on his ex-wife with this same girl. Is what I learned after speaking to the ex-wife.
oh wow.
Um,
So
so
wait,
this girl has been around for the last 10 years as the other woman
okay,
with
so
that.
he lied and said he had to step back to take care of his kids more with his, original, ex-wife. And then you found out that was a lie because he's actually cheating on you. And
Hmm.
and was he cheating
With
on
this
you? He
girl.
was doing it while you were pregnant.
While I was pregnant. Yep. And then I found out later because there was a lot of stuff that started happening, like supporting me when the baby was born, for maternity leave. It was really
Yeah,
bad.
it sounds like
And
he's more in love with that girl than he is with the two of you. It sounds like he's just kind of using the two of you as placeholders, um, when he
that's
doesn't
kind of
get with
what
this
it
girl.
felt like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's absolutely what he's doing. This guy, this is also a guy who just wants it all too. Like I think he wants all of you, and he's kind of like doing this thing where he's bouncing around and creating families with people, because like he probably feels lonely and he probably feels like he's not getting anywhere. So then he gets with someone, has a baby, and then he bounces right back over. So yeah, this is like
Yeah, it sounded like he just wanted access to me because
yeah.
he kept saying, you're always going to be a part of my life, forever, and this and that. Well, it got so bad. I was in tears. I was working two jobs to support, trying to save up. He wouldn't help me buy anything for the baby. So I had to move. I moved far away to California, and he was angry about that, and he said I was taking him away from his baby and not letting him see him, and he showed up at my place before I left. That was when he told me I'm in a relationship. I got in another relationship, and and he told me he was having sex with her, all this stuff. I get to California, I have the baby, and he abandoned us. he abandoned us. He's not even tried to.
Well, this guy, I think he abandons just as a whole. Like I think he just jumps from person to person and he doesn't really care much about how it affects people. Like I don't think he's actually looking to take care of or be considerate of anyone. So I have a question.
Mhm.
Why did you think he was a good option to be a father?
Because he had a lot of the same morals and expectations that
Okay.
I had, and he wasn't like that. It was weird because I didn't see who he was until I was already leaving the situation. That's when he showed me who he
Okay.
was. Like, um, it was just like I was looking at a whole different person. Like the sweet, nurturing guy, the one that was planning to have this baby with me, the one that was like taking me out to dinners, and um, that person was like non-existent. He was just sitting there, blank stare, nonchalant. Yeah, I'm in another relationship. And then when I moved to California, he was trying to get back with me, but then he was still with that girl. And then she found out, and then she tried to be mad, but she was the other woman the whole time. So she tried to get mad. And then when I finally did speak to the ex-wife told me that girl has always been the other woman.
Okay.
She's always been the other woman.
So
And
so
now she's pregnant. Everything he said he was going to give me, the wedding, like the marriage, the house, just being a blended family, he's doing that with her now. And she's pregnant now. And he hasn't even met our son.
well, I'm really sorry that happened to you and that you had to go through this because that's not fair. And so I guess the question is, what do you? I guess what now? Like
I'm just trying to rebuild. I honestly have not like when I look in the mirror, like I don't even recognize myself. Like it just feels like all of my energy has been drained out of me, and he's living his life. Like I've seen like posts and stuff, like he's just happy and living his life. So while I've had to deal with all the emotional labor of what he has caused in my life, and
so
his mother enabled him,
so here's
his
the
whole
th-
family.
so here's what I would say, right? His mother, and this is just what I say out of love. His mother has nothing to do with the decisions that he makes. Now, his mother can try to influence him, but at the end of the day, he's a grown man, and he knew exactly what he was doing, and he knew exactly what he was going to do. This all was a part of his makeup, and he doesn't deserve any credit at all from anyone else saying, well, they might have influenced him or this girl. This girl, he always knew he wanted that girl. And he always knew that there was a chance he would go back. So all of this was him intentionally being a villain. He cared only about himself and he used women to get his way. And now that's just how he moves. So there's nothing good about that kind of person, right? He moves in
Yeah.
selfishness and eventually karma will catch up because it always does. But you stayed genuine, you stayed true to your heart, you committed to him, you committed to this journey, and that's what you were looking for to play out. And unfortunately, he had ulterior motives and he used the situation. But what I would say is that this doesn't define you and it doesn't take away from you. And if anything, you sticking with your daughter, you have a daughter now, right?
Um, I have a son.
Son?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. So you and him had a son together.
Yeah.
How old is your son?
He's 4 months.
4 months. So you staying true to your son and committing to that journey and being the best mom you could be is triple whatever he could be. So yeah, he can go to some old fling from high school that he plays around with and treat and play house. But how genuine is that when his track record has been burnt up? He's got a lot of people that he's hurt in the way of this. That is gonna haunt him.
Yeah. But can I ask you this? She knew when I caught them driving around town, and she was just all up under him. I was like, what are you doing? this is, and she's like, we're just hanging out. I was like, do you know that I'm pregnant? And she says, yes, I
So
know.
let
I
me
said, what kind of woman
no.
does
So
this?
let me ask you a question because I hear your frustration, right? And I love it. But here's the thing: you got to think what type of person would be okay with dating a man like that, a man who doesn't take care of his responsibilities and walks out on his family and blames everyone else for his problems and doesn't stick around and take care of his responsibility. What type of woman? Because what you're doing is you're only seeing the front picture and you're wearing that, right? You're like, all I see is the happiness. But that's a trick because she's
Mm-hmm.
living in the moment. She feels like she's won, but at the same time, she won a man that doesn't take responsibility for anything. That means she's doomed. If she doesn't wake up soon, they're both going to crash and burn because he has a track record of not stepping up when things get tough. When
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out is what kind of woman does that?
a woman that's okay with low standards. That's what I'm saying. She's okay. She saw him do that to other women. She's not a girl's girl. She's looking at a man that literally casted two other women out. And she said, "I'm the one who wins." So guess what? Yeah, you won somebody that doesn't care, that's not considerate. So when things get hard
Mm,
for you too, you're next on the chopping block. So you got a clock.
I
She's
see.
letting her ego run this right now. And she knows it. See, it'd be different if she didn't know. If she didn't know this happened to you too. See, like you didn't know. You just heard the story and he didn't let you talk to his ex, right? But in this regard, she knows you, has spoken to you, knows about the other woman, known him since high school. And she's still signing up like I win. Every time I've seen this happen, that girl ended up getting the worst end of the stick anyway. Because you got to think, he knows also that she saw him disrespect two other women and she still took him back. So the
Yeah.
trash takes out the trash at the end of the day, if I'm gonna be real with you. Like, they're both meant to be together because they both have the same type of spiritual energy. They both are inconsiderate and don't care about how they make other people feel. They just want an ego boost. They just want to fill the gap. But that cup runneth dry. Eventually, it's gonna come to a point that they gotta be real and they have to do something real together. And then that's when stuff is gonna get a little nasty. But hey, I don't wish it on them, but that's usually what happens.
Right. Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. I kind of mentally have been saying that to myself. And like I said, I've spoken to the ex-wife and heard her side. And it's just like a lot of the stuff she had to go through, I went through. And then this other woman that he's with has been a constant problem in their relationship too. And then I've even spoken to this current girl, like tried to talk to her, like woman to woman, like, hey, when she found out he was trying to like get back with me, she was, like I said, heard about it. And I was like, well, I didn't even know like what was going on. I'm all the way out here. I just had the baby. He's trying to be a family again and all this. And I was just like, I just wanted to co-parent and just, him be there for his son. But she still went to him and he was supposed to come visit and he canceled his trip and everything. And then got with her and proposed to her. So he chose her over his own son.
Well, he didn't choose her over, right? Like that, see, that definition makes it sound like
Mm-hmm.
he knew your value and your worth and still decided on another person. This man doesn't know anyone's value. This man is only going where he feels like he can get away with the most. And if you have any standard or boundary, he's going to have to walk. She might be giving him everything he wants and she's not putting up any boundaries. So then he latches onto that. But that doesn't mean that it's a deal. See, I think your
You're right.
mind might be shaping this like, oh man, I lost out to another woman, my man. Like, no, this man isn't even his own man. He's going around having babies that are now going to grow up mistrusting him because he's not being responsible. So why would he want that on himself?
That's true. I
So
feel like I've went over this a million times in my head, and I'm just still like, it's hard for me to wrap my head around, treating another human the way I've been treated. Like I would never treat anyone, like this and and discard anyone like this or treat someone like objects. Like it was like he was all for being a family or being able to see his son until he realized he lost access to me. Like I didn't want him like that anymore. And then he didn't want his son anymore. It's like it's one thing if our relationship didn't work, but at the least you could still be there for your son. But he was like, well, I don't have access to her anymore,
Well, then
so
you could look at it this
my
way. Do you
my son
want,
was disposable.
well, it's not that. It's that he's so selfish that he doesn't even consider it. He doesn't even think of the term disposable. He's thinking, I want what I want. And he's not worried about how it costs other people. But that's what I'm saying. If it's coming from a selfish space, then that means she's going to get hers eventually too, because everything is on selfish. You see what I mean? So he doesn't even think that far. Oh, I'm dishonoring my son. I'm hurting my potential son. But then you got to think of it this way. Could that be a blessing, right? Because now, even though he may not be present, you don't have to worry about your son turning out like him. Because those behaviors, those nuances, that type of thinking pattern, that could be ingrained into your son. And now you got two men in your life that act like this. And now your son might turn against you.
Yeah. That's why I got away because I didn't want my son around all of that drama and the girl was bragging about how he was obsessed with her and like when I did speak to her, try to have a conversation with her and I was just like, this is crazy. Like you're literally bragging over a man who's abandoned a woman who's pregnant with his child and wasn't even trying to see his child when he was born. So it's just crazy to me. It's crazy to me that anyone would want that, honestly. But I guess I don't know.
No, I understand. Well, honestly, I wouldn't focus as much on, the integrity part or the how is it that a man can do this. What I would look at if I were you that might help is I would focus more on the fact that he is that person that is capable of this, which is way scarier. Because there are
Yeah.
people that are not capable of this, that couldn't even do this if they wanted to. So the fact that he has a heart to do this, what makes you think he doesn't have a heart to do it again in some shape or form?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a specific type of person. A person that leaves two families behind and then creates a new one and then lies about all of it. So in a way you're not losing anything. You actually didn't gain anything either from this guy because this guy was always this person. So he's this person, whether it's you, or whether it's his new woman, whether it's his ex-wife, he's always a liar. So I think you're focused more on, well, look what he does for her. Look at the positives that she's getting and the positives that they're having. But the bigger picture still exists. Just because it's fun now doesn't mean that at some point things won't hit. But I think that's where, hey, it could have been way worse. This guy could have been sleeping around, caught something, and gave it to you. This type of behavior could be deadly.
Hmm.
So,
Well, yes, I appreciate you.
no, of course. Yeah, I understand that right now you're going through it. And, that's valid. You should definitely have a space to feel your feelings and to know that, you didn't deserve that, but on the off chance, I feel like, he doesn't deserve to spend time with your son if that's going to be his way of looking at women and looking at life. I don't think that any man should learn from him or say that, oh, this man raised me. No, like, I mean, but at the same time, I don't dictate that, but I'm saying if I had a choice as a man, I'd rather be raised by a mom that has integrity, that loves me, that shows me, the right things, than by a man that shows me how to take advantage of people and to not have a heart.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you so much. Thank you.
Same here. It was great talking to you today.
You too. Thank you for letting me join in.
Of course. We'll talk again soon. Have a great day.
You too. Good
All right,
night.
bye. Oh yeah. All right, we are back in the jump. How are y'all doing? Chicago here. Hey, Chicago. What did y'all think? What did y'all think of that situation? Any thoughts? Y'all heard the whole thing, right? You heard the entire back and forth? Oh boy, how long have we been on live tonight, baby? It's over 2 hours. Okay. Cooking on a Sunday night. I said way too much. Enough time for others to talk. Love makes a yes, we heard, and she sounds heard. I would have loved to talk to her and give her a different perspective as a woman who went through the same thing. It's hard to see the bigger picture when you are in pain. That it is. That it very much so is. This is my first time listening to you. I really enjoy your insight. Thank you. Well, see, you're all being supportive and you're all here too. So that is wonderful. I've had many men in my life that wanted a family too. Too many red flags, so I said no on starting a family. Responsible. That's responsible. Anywho, I'm about to jump off. I'm getting a little tired, but what I would say here is go ahead and send me a DM if you want to work with me. If you want to get into the private community, if you want to find out if your situation, if we can work through yours, or you just want to learn more, right? And you want to learn how to navigate these situations. But I can do that for you. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Make sure you go ahead and send me a DM if you want to do this. If you want to get your situation worked out ASAP, I got a few spots available. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Have a great rest of your evening. Bye, y'all.